Hey Cakenistas, it's Marisha, and today I want to show you guys how I made these really cute 2D gold painted animals for my safari themed cake. So I made myself a template, and I did that by tracing out some animals. I traced them from my computer screen. You can take it a step further and actually print something out. That's if you got it like that. I'm just tracing with my green gel pen and I love it. Make sure that all of them are the right size for one another. And I've only got 3 animals, so I'm putting this over some fondant and I'm simply going to trace it out, and I'm using an X-Acto knife to do that. It is sometimes difficult when you have a soft fondant to trace out something like this tail. The tail on the lion is just so ridiculous. So I find that making short straight cuts helps, and then just kind of curving it out later on with maybe your finger or something like that, or a fondant tool. Now the trick to making these look dynamic is to actually go in and make indentations using some type of fondant tool, or even a butter knife, the back of a butter knife, to make the indentations that you see on the actual drawing. So when you make your drawing, make sure to make all of those accents and all of those lines that you see. It's going to definitely make a difference. When I was asked to make this cake, the original picture, it was just a flat line with no characteristics, no nothing, no shadowing. And it's a shame because this is just an extra step that really ups the quality of the cake and the artistry behind it. So it's very important, and it's something that I wish more people did when they were doing stuff like this. If it's going to be 2D, I mean, you could go even further and add another layer of fondant, actually do the hair. Safari cakes are all the rage for like baby showers and kids parties, and this was a very mature, like modern safari cake, but it was so easy to make. So while I didn't show the beginning and end process, I at least did film this part on my phone just to show you Cakenistas a really great and easy way to make the safari cake. So now we're going to move on to our elephant. Remember that if you do anything with elephants, make their trunk going upwards. That is good luck. So this will be good luck for the baby. And I pretty much did 2 of each so that I would have 6 fondant animals all together. So now that we are at this step, I'm going to paint my animals gold. Now you can dust them dry. However, you can see how that's looking. It's looking like nothing. So I'm going to mix this gold luster dust with some vodka. And that's really going to bring this to life. Sometimes dusting it dry does work out, but it depends on what you're actually dusting. If you're doing regular fondant, it's going to look like you put it on there and then you took it off. I do want to take a moment to try out this new bronzy copper color dust that I just got, just to see if it would give the gold any more depth, but it doesn't, and I don't really like it. So we're just going to Kitchenaid on the bronzier. This is Rockham brand gold luster dust. I get this off of Etsy. It's actually my favorite gold luster dust that I've used so far, and this little thing has lasted me for a couple of years at this point. So I'll make sure to leave the link to that in the description. You want to add a good amount of that paint to your paintbrush so that you get a thicker coat to start with. I like to do 2 to 3 coats all together. So after the first coat, I'll just let the paint dry and then go back and do another coat. You just want to make sure that you don't see any of that white fondant showing through. So after my first coat for all the animals, I let them dry for about an hour and then went back and painted them. And an hour may be long because once again we're using vodka, which evaporates very quickly, but I just wanted to be safe because once you get that gummy layer on top, it's a little bit difficult to work with. So just to avoid that, I just like to wait. Why not? I have time. Now, I didn't film too much of the process of me making the leaves, but it was very simple. I made 3 shades of green fondant. I went from a deeper to a darker shade of fondant. I'm using cornstarch to keep everything non-stick. Then I bought this silicone mold from Amazon. It has 5 different types of leaves. I'm going to make as many fondant leaves as my fondant will allow. And then I'm going to simply attach them to the cake. When you see the cake, you'll notice that there's no border because I wanted for the leaves to basically be the border of both the top and the bottom tier. So there is a technique to doing this, and it does take some practice. You're gonna need plenty of cornstarch. Press that fondant into the mold, and then use my X-Acto knife to scrape away the excess fondant that is on the top. Sometimes even freezing everything helps. If you push some of that fondant in, you can freeze the whole thing, and then you can use your X-Acto knife to cut off any excess fondant. And this is a little bit time consuming because this mold has little stems and kind of some fine detail that we have to make sure we get. So these are all of the leaves that I made, and I am seriously ecstatic at this point to apply them to the cake. I love the richness of that darker green. I feel like it's really going to bring everything to life. So now that my cakes are ready, I have my decorations ready, I'm going to apply my animals while they are still soft to the cake. And I just apply them with some water. Once again, I have 6 animals in total. And then I'm going to start to apply my fondant leaves. I'm going to make sure to cover up the base of that top tier cake. And I wanted to make sure to just arrange them with intent. I arranged them so that there was a nice diagonal space going through the cake. You'll see. And this looks a little bit awkward because I was filming this on my phone with one hand and then trying to apply the fondant decorations with the other hand. Whatever it takes to show the Cakenistas how to make this cake. And honestly, this is one of the easiest cakes that I have ever done and one of the most gorgeous cakes that I've ever done. I went back on Amazon and I found these gold animals and I stuck them to the cake and to the cake board with a little bit of fondant. I made it act as glue. The animals also came with these jumbo leaves. I used 2 of those leaves as the topper as well. I just stuck them right into the top part of the cake. And you can see that empty space that I left. It just looks perfect. Make sure to bend some of those leaves so that they don't all look flat. And steaming this cake just brought the entire thing to life. The different shades of green, the gold, it's simple, it's classy, but yet it's glamorous at the same time. Let me know what you guys think of this and if you try it out. Couture and a Safari Cake. Bye guys.